Hi guys, my name is Mark and I'm the YouTuber with the best cable management on the desk. That's why I got a new wireless now, the BTL or GRETXA or whatever it's called. Let's go. So honestly, I have no clue how I have to pronounce this name. For me, it's the first wireless from BTL, but they say it Venza, or most of you guys say it's from Venza or whatever. But I can tell you one thing, I got it offered by the persons who are in response or in charge for selling BTL worldwide, and they basically sell it out of the BTL list. So for me, it's the BTL wireless mouse. It's called GRETXA. I have no clue, guys. If someone knows or can explain me how to really pronounce this, just let me know, please. Also, I don't care, because you want to play with it. And in this video, at first I give a brief overview about the box, what is in the box, how the mouse looks. Then we make a short comparison of sizes. I have basically, the main competitor in my opinion is the G Pro Superlight right now, or the normal G Pro. We compared with each other the whole time. Then I have some of this Finalmouses here, I have New Hutty here, and I have a Model O minus here, and I just give you a brief overview and look. So let's start with the box. As you can see, it's pretty decent made. It's not an ugly box. If you want to have it somewhere in your gaming room, it's yeah, it looks good. You can have it, you can let it stay around and show people if you want, because I like the design. The front is nice made. You see it's called Venza, and here I don't know what this is, but for me it's TBTL, and also here it says TBTL. TBTL is basically, or I think, or what I know and what I know out of my researches and out of our own contact we have in China by our employee who is and Chinese living in Germany, I can tell you this is a company, they basically can do everything. They can produce everything for everyone. It's a big producer, and they just don't want to do B2C, they just want to do B2B, and yeah, they just produce everything. And I think after some stuff TBTL or BTL done with those glides and esports tiger and those grips and everything around, they just at one point decided to just shoot it for a mouse, because I think the main company behind this is already producing mouse a lot, because when I watch at this box, which is very good, which has also some brief informations on the backside, with an Instagram and Twitter account who is non-existing at the time we made this video, and some small informations down here says the name of the mouse, the sensor, which is a PNW Pixar 3370, which basically is right now the top-notch sensor you can choose for a wireless mouse, because the DPI variation is basically below 0.5%. For example, on these Razer Ochokis, the old Hutty S wireless, and all mice who were manufactured with 35 sensors mostly have a high DPI variation. For example, if you set 400 DPI, it's mostly like 440, 380, something like that. Most it overshoots, so it's mostly above 400, it's like 440, 438, and you all, as I can tell you, it's hard to find out which is the real DPI then, because as much as I saw and I tested with DPI checker, which makes me a lot of work, because I have to always to do this 1, 2 or 3 centimeters here on my I don't have it here. I don't want to do this. I don't want to check 10 times if my DPI is 400 DPI. And yes, there is DPI variation on basically every mouse model with a 3335. And some are more, some are less, because depends on the implementation, on the MCU settings, and on the way the engineering and designing around the sensor is made. But I can tell you, I'm super happy. This one has a 3370. One big advantage also is it can handle a lot of DPI. That's okay. My honest opinion is don't play over 2000. And on 3370 you can change the lift of distance. That's super cool, guys. For most of you people, it's like, oh, I want to change to 1mm. If you have an old wireless, you can't. Also, I don't think you can on G Pro Superlight. As much as I know, you can't. That's also very, very good. Another thing here is they sent you a pair of glides. I don't have it anymore, to be honest. I have no clue where it is. It's the glides are not very good, and the pair they sent you is also it's just like a small 3M sticker where are some PTFE feeds on it. The PTFE feeds look like this. That's basically for me the weakest spot on this mouse besides the high weight, because I'm a low weight enthusiast, as you know. But basically they work. But if you want to play it like really hardcore, or you want to use it for ranked or whatever, or you want to go pro or aim or whatever, maybe get some new glides. I don't know if Esports Tiger already has one, or core pads, but try to get new ones and replace them, please. So also in the box, besides the glides, which I don't find anymore, is there's no grips. But for me, right now, first mouse, I really have to say no grips needed. I will explain in a second. And then there is these like booklet, it's very small made, looks like this. On the back side you have some information about the tech and the spec. They say it's a 4-layer PCB inside. The battery inside has 400 milliampere hours, which is basically a large battery, to be honest. So it should last very long. The total weight is 69 gram. The battery only is 5 gram. So you would have, also they say 69, but my copy is 68. But in general, the mouse without battery should weigh about 62 to 63 gram. But if we compare it to the G Pro Superlight, the Superlight is basically 6 to 7 gram, depending on how you play it, with the thing down here, with stickers, with not. It's just lighter. First point for the Superlight, it's lighter than this BTL mouse. So also this one here has also only those 20mm omrons inside. I don't have problems with those omrons. I like them on the Hati already. I played a lot of omrons on different mice, and I have to say they're very clicky in the beginning, and at some point they wear off. Yes, they wear off fast, but I barely had double clicks experience, for example on my Hati. I never played the Superlight hardcore with these switches, but I can tell that at first they're very clicky, very snappy, and later they get a little bit loose, so they get a little bit mushy. But maybe you want to replace them later. Depends on how you want to use it, and yeah, it's still okay, to be honest. They say it's customized MCU, but basically they will use just a standard MCU like everyone is using. The booklet is in traditional Chinese on the backside. For everyone who can read it, have fun. And for everyone else, it's like an English version on the backside, which is very easy explained, to be honest. The booklet is also needed to just run the mouse without software. You can run the mouse without software for sure, I can tell you. I'm doing this myself. I seeked for the software, and there was an opportunity, or there was like an option to download the software from a Google Drive, which basically is directly an exe or an exe. Hard feelings about downloading an exe from a Chinese company direct on my PC without any checks from a Google Drive, so I did not. The rest, what is in the mouse, is basically they give you these USB-C type cable, which is also a decent paracord, to be honest. This cable here for charging the mouse and for the dielector, for the thing between the dongle and the USB-C cable, is basically better as some cables on some gaming mouse for like 60 or 70 euro, not gonna lie. It's pretty decent, it's okay. So It's USB-C, and then you can charge the GRETXA with USB-C here. It's easy to plug in. You also, maybe you heard it, it's also working with plugged in USB-C. It looks like this, then yeah, it's a little bit stiff, but I don't think you want to play this because you choose a wireless mouse, you want to play wireless. Then you have those translator, who's basically doing from USB-C to USB male, which is in quality, in my opinion, not the best. Plastic feels very cheap. Looks like you ordered the cheapest translator on Wish, and then you have this dongle, which is also very basic, which is when you get the mouse, it's down here inside. You can put it also back here, and it's easily to get it out again. So yeah, that's it. You can stick it together, and I have to say, you may think, oh, that's standard, but that's not standard. I saw bigger companies with mouse for 140 euro who are not delivering this piece in between. And you think, why they don't do this? I have no clue. I think Rocket was one of the companies who are not doing this. So I'm very glad they done this. That's a good move. It makes things easier for you. You don't need to have an extra cable, an extra USB male to female extender. So nice move from these guys. That's basically all what was in the box beside the mouse. And now we start to compare the form and the size of the mouse to the G Pro Superlight now. Because as I said, it's for me the heaviest competitor and one of the most widely used mouse for gaming in the wireless market, with an own sensor solution, with a very, very long history, with lot of proven pro usage, sponsored, which is also in everybody's mind when you say, or when you talk about good wireless mice. Of course, it's there since like an eternity. It was one of the first, it's one of the best performing besides all the flaws and all the problems the mouse has. It's like basically like the wireless tank from Logitech, which is way too expensive, which has a shape which is very special, let me say it this way, because you love it or you hate it, or you just adapt to it. It's like you're getting the flu and you need some time to adapt to the flu, and then you're like, you're not sick anymore, you know? So it's like, I don't say it's a bad shape, but for me, for example, the Superlight has not the shape I would be able to main, because it has some disadvantages for me, which just is not enjoyable for me for playing like 8 to 12 hours a day. I don't say this mouse is shit. There is usage for people who are playing this, who are playing good with this, but for me it's not a fit. So let's compare those two. At first, the shape is, yeah, it's kind of equal, but also not. Why it's not equal? One thing is the GRETXA is a little bit more wide when you watch from the top, which is basically very good for me. Because I don't like mouse or mice in general with a big hump who are too thin or too slim. Because the slimmer the mouse gets and the higher the hump gets, that's very slim with a high hump, just to compare, the more uncomfortable it gets to claw or fingertip grip. Yes, it's nice to rest your palm, when you palm, to rest on it, but for more enthusiast gamer, it's in kind or in the opportunities of handling and high performing, it's not that good. Because I'm just mainly the Zaunkönig M2K, some of you may know. If you don't know, watch my video about it. It's one of the most expensive and absolutely market-leading mouse in general, based on technology and on how it's made, how fast it is, and about of the lightness. So I just mained this. It's wired and it's insane, guys. Due to those time I played these Zaunkönig in fingertip grip, I just changed my normal grip on normal mice. So you can say that normally I was holding mouse like this. And if you watch older reviews, I always complain about I can't click the mouse like here. I can click it, I can click this one here, that's very good. But normally I was always complaining, oh, I can't click it there. So I changed my grip. It looks like this now. My fingers are more extending now because due to those fingertip grip, which gives me way more feeling and way more abilities to microcontrol, I got used to stretched fingers and it improved my aim a lot. Also, I realized now gripping these M-sized mouse, it helped me a lot to play them better. So I wouldn't need to force myself now to play a Starlight, for example, which is way smaller, where I also can do this grip. But honestly, I realized now that an GRETXA or HTM also would fit my hand very good because I changed the way I grip. So besides this, as I said, it's very grippy. First mouse, I don't really need grip on it. One thing I enjoyed on it is by just the form, by that the broadness to the length and the situation, so the spots where the glides are situated on the mouse, it has a very high horizontal stability. So your horizontal movement is very high. But due to the high weight, to the nearly 70 gram, and fast direction change, horizontal left to right, is very hard. Why? Just based on physics, as more heavy your mouse is, as more force is in the movement, and as more force you need to stop it and to change direction. So that's why I'm a lightweight enthusiast guy. If the mouse is lighter, fast switches, direction switches on tracking, for example, or on flicks from right to left will be easier. Yes, you can train this. Yes, you can build muscle-mind connection. Yes, you can build muscle memory when you have the mouse. That's no problem. I'm just saying this up front. That's one thing I was disappointed or I don't like just cause of the weight. If you're okay with this or you just play a mouse right now, which is heavier and want to go to this, there will be no problem. Stability is good. In general, the weight distribution is like the weight point is like a little bit below the sensor. On the G Pro Wireless, the weight is like here in front of the sensor. So the weight distribution is very nice with this one. So no problems while handling. And as I said, it's a little bit flatter than the G Pro. Very nice grip, very enjoyable for me. No grip tapes needed. Now we come to the other forms. Just give it a short comparison. It's like, you notice, it's symmetrical, it's nice. I don't have to say anymore because I can show you like 20 mouse I have here which are symmetrical, which are all look basically equal. But one thing it is not, people say it's a Finalmouse clone. I will show you now why it's not a Finalmouse clone. First thing which is very, very important for me is the way or how they made the clicks. On Finalmouse, the clicks are laying on. Like you can see, it's going over here. Here, the clicks are in the shell basically. Also, the side buttons. On Finalmouse, they're always on the edge. In between, here's an in between three parts. Here, they just decided to let it into one of the parts. So one part of the shell is holding the side buttons, which makes it way better for me, way more enjoyable to use them. Yes, they have a little pre-travel and post-travel, but basically you don't click them accidentally and they feeling basically very good. They're not moving a lot when you're going over there with the finger. So the way they are set in the side shell is very nice. And in average, I have to say, yes, it's influenced by a Starlight M model, by size and by, in general, how it's made, but it's not a real clone, to be honest. Also, it feels a little bit different for me, just by gripping in total. But it's a very good, very nice made. The scroll wheel looks a little bit cheap. The rubber is a little bit thick, could be thinner, to be honest, and a little bit more structured. On the downside, we have two settings. The red LED you're watching is the indicator for the polling rate. Polling rate can be switched from 125 to 500 to 1000 Hertz. It indicates by the color. 125 is blue, 500 is green, and red is 1000 hertz. So basically, I think they made those 125 hertz just for office usage, or if you not play, because you can save a lot of energy by just putting down the polling rate, because sending less over the bus, from send to receive is saving energy the whole time, also for the MCU, for the sensor, everything. Another thing is the other button, by the way, which is not indicated with a light, is just switching off and on the LED on top. So you see it's blue now. The color which you see is, when you don't change the DPI, is indicating discharge of the battery. Blue means it's between 40 and 70% of battery life, and if it's green, it means it's between 70 and 99%. If this would be illuminated red, it would mean it's between 10 and 30% battery life. So that's another point where what I like, as I said, you can fully run it without software. It's very good. Also, you can change DPI, 400, 800, 1600, 3200, 4800, 6400 DPI. One tip from my side is here, never use something above 2000 or 3000 DPI, depending on the sensor, because sensor smoothing sets in on a high DPI, and then it looks like angel snapping mode on SteelSeries software or wherever, because it out of your real movements, like you're doing like this, it will try to make, or it will get more flat, more like a line. So that's why I would say just use 800 or 1600 DPI based on the game and on the in-game multiplicator, which is enabling or disabling your ability to set or find your right eDPI. So that's it just from what is inside, what is outside, what is in the box, and how it is performing. Now I give you my brief opinion about this. I like it. Looks like a very good product for me. One thing is in Europe is the availability. So the points or resellers are basically what I saw or what I researched are only outside of the EU. Prices differ a lot. Some people offer it for 105 US dollar, others offering it for 80. Then you have to pay shipping, then you have to pay tax, and I think he would be around 120, 130 euro. 120, 130 euro. And that's the point where you have to ask yourself, do you really want this? Is this the form you want to play? Did you have a Finalmouse and enjoyed it and just want to go to wireless? Then that's right, that's good. But if you are, for example, an old G Pro player, maybe it's more enjoyable for you to get a G Pro Superlight, because the availability is better. It's more easier to send it back, for example, if there's a problem. I have no clue what you want to do when this GRETXA has a problem. Because I can tell you, normal Chinese police is when you buy or resell for them in Europe, on an amount like 100, you get 4 or 2 free. And it's like, if you buy 1000, you get 100 mouse free. That's just for the mouse which may get sent back because they are not working. That's not like you get mouse for free to sell them. That's because they know some of them not working. And I have no clue how you want to send this back to Hong Kong without paying 25 euro just for sending. So hard decision. If you can get it for 100 euro in Europe or 105, give it a try if you want to. If not, I don't know if it's worth. I think they made a good first step with this one. It's a solid base. They have to change some stuff. We need better glides. We need the sensor ring. We need KL switches or Huanos or TTC Golds, something like this, or JEP Omrons. But we don't need those standard 20mm Omrons. I think that's outdated. The PCB is extremely big. The size, if I look down this here, it's very big. Maybe you can see it all white. You see is PCB. The battery is very big. It's like here on top. Yes, it's 4-layer PCB, but even because it's 4-layer PCB, you can make it smaller. make the PCB smaller, shrink the battery, put out some other plastic stuff which is made inside. Yes, it's very stable, it's not creaking or something, it's really solid, that's made really good, that's for sure. But I think to compete on the future market, because we know there's like HTM coming out below 60 gram, and I think on one point G Pro will bring a successor for the Superlight, and then maybe it's the Ultra Light or Mother of Light or Ultra Pro or whatever. But I think they will do them below 50 gram because they just need to compete. And this one, if you wanted the Starlight M, if you wanted it really hard, but you don't care about the weight, then this one is the right one. But if you care about the weight, that's the wrong one. Maybe just wait. Also, if I go back to sensors, all future mouse or mice I know are just equipped with 3370s. Also Cooler Master announced this one now officially after some reviews on hardware mechanics, for example. I can tell you this one has a 3370 also. It's also below 60 gram and it's ergonomic. So the competition is very big. And I think if they come out with the next version or an updated version of this, what I hope they will do soon, I will give it another review and I will let you know if the changes are big enough to compete with the very big competition. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If I forgot something or you may need to know more or want just to know more about this mouse, let me know down in the comments. I will always try to have a good chat down there with you in the comments, and I always try to read daily and answer daily. Sometimes I'm a little bit stressed out, that's why it takes some days. But if you have good questions or I forgot something or some mentions or in general about how I review a mouse, just let me know. I'm very open to have a brief context with you guys, and most of you know this. And we make this, of course, we want to, and we love everything around gaming, and we will extend the channel more and more in future. And I want to do it with you as a community, and I just want to have input from your side, guys. What you want to see more, what you want to see less. Some people say they want more structure, and we try to structure up the reviews in future. I want to stop talk a lot of stuff around the whole industry. Maybe I will do some special videos just about industry talk or about how the business is working, how everything around mouse design, componenting, blah, 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 or reselling is working. Maybe it's more, or it's better doing this like this. Also, this review got very extended again. That's not our aim. In future, we try to do it between 11 and 19 minutes for you guys to have a very good breakdown with good graphics, a high value and rate of information, so that you save some time and still enjoy. But I don't want to lose the fun, and I don't want to lose these open conversations with you, to be honest. That's the way I want to keep it, and I want to hold it. I not want to talk about or from a scripted text. That's why it's sometimes extended like this. But most of you who are still watching right here on this point are enjoying these reviews. Thank you guys. I hope we see ourselves in the next video. Bye bye.